Welcome to the Picks and Ponderings video preview of the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Middle Distance Race, or as they officially call it, the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. I'm Nicolle Neulist. You can find me on Twitter at RoadClown. My partner in crime, Paul Mazur, is here. You can find him on Twitter at HeyLaserbeam. You can find us both at Picks Ponderings, as well as right here on the Picks and Ponderings blog.
7 furlongs sometimes brings out some interesting form, and just as you get with 7 furlong races for males, sometimes you get some specialists that just absolutely adore 7 furlongs, and then you get some horses that absolutely cannot stand up at 7 furlongs. I actually think this is one of the easier Breeders' Cup races to handicap because that distance is a really big equalizer.
I'm right there with you. When I'm handicapping this race, I'm looking for the 7 furlong horses, and sometimes you can find 7 furlong horses who are going to go off at a decent price, and that's what I always do. It's what I do in races like the Madison, the Humana Distaff, the Ballerina, and right here in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint.
Absolutely. And I'm going with, and for the play horse for me, I'm actually going to a horse who I'm going to give a mulligan to her effort last time out, and that's the number 11, Judy the Beauty. At 7 furlongs, she's got 6 starts, 5 times in the top 2, 2 seconds, 3 wins. And she happened to win a race called the Breeders' Cup, and she happened to be second in a little race called the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint 2 years back, and won the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint the year before. So she'll be making her 3rd straight appearance in the BC Filly and Mare Sprint. With that nice record, at 7 furlongs is a plus. I also think I'm also going to give her a bit of a throw out for that last race on a muddy track at Keeneland. Keep in mind that during the Fall Stars weekend, it rained on Friday. It rained and it poured on Friday, and I think the Saturday track at Keeneland was more of a chameleon-style drying out track. I don't think that her inside trip does her justice in that. She also got shut off in the stretch. She got a track where it's not necessarily the most fair track in terms of, it's playing to the inside or, it's playing to the outside. It's more playing to, what's the driest spot. I'm just going to say that last start in the TCA during Fall Stars is a throwout. And I'm going to look back to a horse that won a Filly and Mare Sprint, was second to a potential Hall of Famer in Groupie Doll 2 years back. One that's 5 of 6 one that's 5 of 6, and in her one start this year at 7 furlongs, she got tagged on the line by Dame Dorothy. This is a horse that I might not get my 6 to 1, but I'm certainly going to get 4 or 5 on Judy the Beauty.
I have a similar idea with a different horse, which is to say a horse who's going to be an overlay because of some recent races for which she gets mulligans, and yet is a horse who can do 7 furlongs very, very well. And that is the number 2, Dame Dorothy. Dame Dorothy has gone 7 furlongs 5 times. She's won 4 times. The only time she lost was back at Belmont in the Ballerina. That was a disappointment, but that was also her first race after a couple of months. She hadn't raced since June. She came back next out in the Gallant Bloom and was 3rd, beaten 2 lengths. Didn't start all that well, was facing La Verdade on La Verdade's home turf, also against a pretty sharp one in Wavell Avenue, who was second that day. But it was an improvement over her Ballerina and suggests that she's getting back in the right form. 6.5 also might be a little short for Dame Dorothy, who really does do her better work going 7. Another thing I like about Dame Dorothy here is she has some serious pace versatility, and I'm looking at her to be in definitely the stalking to mid-pack place as opposed to any more of her forwardly placed type races, only because there does appear to be a lot of speed in this race. And since she has that ability to sit off and run on later, that's going to help her a lot given how this race is going to set up. So Similar theory to Paul, probably a little longer price on Dame Dorothy than on Judy the Beauty, but got a proven 7 furlong horse who's going to be a huge price given her last couple of form lines. She's 10-1 on the morning line, and I wouldn't be surprised to see her something close to that. I know, surprise, I'm coming kind of close to endorsing a Battaglia morning line, but I think this one's realistic.
I agree with you. There's going to be a potential pace meltdown in the BC Filly and Mare Sprint. I just wonder what happened in that ballerina at Saratoga where one of our local horses, Sarah Sis, checked in a crowd with a good 4th place effort. Meanwhile, I am also going to be tossing one of the speed horses as my pass, and that's the number 8, Stonetastic. Stonetastic is a nice 6 furlong horse. This is not a 6 furlong race. They're going to run another 1/8 of a mile after this. Stonetastic does have a second in the Shine Again up at the Spa, a restricted stakes where she chased around a decent 7 furlong clunk up horse in Unbridled Forever. But look back to this, and a lot of people look at that 6.5 race at Parks, where she won by about a telephone code, by a telephone code. Okay, those are fine things, but her 7 furlong form leaves a lot to be desired. Back in the La Brea at 7 furlongs, you needed a searchlight to find her. Back in the Filly and Mare Sprint last year, okay, she was 4th, but that was a well-beaten 4th. To a good 7 furlong horse in Judy the Beauty. Stonetastic also has proven to be the lead type. It's tempting to look at other horses as passes, but I'm just going to pick one that needs the lead and isn't getting her distance. No way do I want Stonetastic in the BC Filly and Mare Sprint.
Yet again, similar idea, different horse. My pass in this one is the number 4, La Verdad, for very similar reasons that Paul is tossing Stonetastic. La Verdad is a speed horse. She showed last out, which is to say not even a week ago, that she can sit off someone gunning it, but that was in the Iroquois against New York breds, against horses that she is better, faster, stronger than. I gave La Verdad a little harder look in a 7 furlong race than I would have otherwise, only because this is Linda Rice, who is known for, finding some softer places for her horses, running La Verdad in the softer place, turning around and wheeling her back in the Filly and Mare Sprint. This is Linda Rice and not David Jacobson wheeling a horse back after a week. But I can't get past the fact that La Verdad doesn't want to go 7 against good horses. We learned that in the Ballerina last year. She struck the lead. She led for a while. She faded badly. I'd have a hard enough time taking La Verdad if it didn't look like there was going to be a lot of other speed in this race. But there is. I see La Verdad and Stonetastic both wanting the front, tiring each other out, and finishing far up the track. So my pass is La Verdad.
You speak truth with that. I agree with you. The La Verdad doesn't want to go 7 furlongs. It's a great story considering how Linda Rice has kind of plum-picked her spots, and the fact that wheelback in a week after running on Empire Classic Day does merit some respect. The only way I could see La Verdad winning is if all the other speed chickened out. And there's a lot of other speed that needs to chicken out.
Absolutely. There's no way that La Verdad gets a trip on the front end, and even though Linda Rice wheeling La Verdad back merits some respect, respect is not the same as having a punter's chance going 7 furlongs against good horses when you're a 6 furlong speed horse. For that reason, my pass is the number 4, La Verdad. My play, on the other hand, is the number 2, Dame Dorothy, who has plenty of good races under her belt, going 7 furlongs, can come from off the pace, and should be a nice price.
My play horse is going to be number 11, Judy the Beauty. Throw out that last race on a quirky wet track at Keeneland, and you've got a horse who's done very few things wrong in the top level of filly and mare sprints, with my pass horse being the need to lead, needs to be in front a lot of the time, Stonetastic, who isn't going to be alone on the front end with horses like Laver Dodd around.
Thank you for watching our video preview of the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint, and good luck.